Guys, maybe I unblocked tratteggio. Okay, so step back. Today it's Monday, so maybe you already remember it's drawing. I saw for the first time a model. It was actually my favorite model so far. And that's because of his anatomical characteristics and also because he makes amazing poses. They are so fun and beautiful to draw. I was super happy today. The model was with us both in the morning, in the afternoon, and also in the evening, but he was with us only for an hour and a half for each session. In the remaining hour and a half, I practiced tratteggio, firstly by copying an ancient master from the Renaissance, and then by practicing tratteggio onto a statue of a lion. Actually, I must say that I went to a further level of tratteggio because I finally understood the direction in which tratteggio needs to go, which was very difficult for me. Obviously, don't think now I'm a master of tratteggio because I'm not, but this makes me really happy. Now I need to work a lot on the direction still, on the change of planes, and on the line, on the precision of the line. I will keep working on it tomorrow and I'm looking forward to it. Time in the academy really flies. I don't even have the time to enter the academy in the morning, and in a blink of an eye, it's already 9:30. It's so nice when days are like this. I come back home tired at 10:30, but with a big smile, and I'm super happy. Today started with an alarm that I haven't heard for 11 minutes until I woke up suddenly. I rushed to be on time at the academy. Apparently, it was yesterday's adrenaline that came all down and I really needed a rest after the past few weeks where, as I was telling you, I'm not sleeping properly because I'm just too pumped about everything. Today, fortunately, it was slightly softer. Also, I got to know a new teacher whose first day was today. He understood immediately that I'm fighting with tratteggio, with hatching. He managed to give me a few useful suggestions. I think it's going to be interesting to learn from his methods as well. Then in the afternoon, we had an anatomy workshop and we kept on learning the back muscles as we did last time. And last time it was very useful actually because I managed to find whatever I learned during the anatomy workshop in the live drawing that I was doing, and it was particularly useful for shadows, for the shapes that I was drawing, for the volumes. So I'm super excited about these workshops as well. Tomorrow there's gonna be another workshop, but I'm only gonna tell you about it tomorrow, so no spoiler. Wednesday, painting. This morning when I arrived to school, there was a workshop called Art Tools Techniques. I think that's the correct translation. The workshop was about creating our own art tools as they did in Renaissance. Obviously in Renaissance, they didn't have the little tubes with color, but instead they created the color themselves. So we explored a little bit of the pigments and natural pigments that we are able to create from natural materials, natural things we can find in nature, for example the earth. By putting some additives, for example oils, to these earths, you create color. So you just need to grind it a little bit and it becomes a color you can use. So we actually use the colors we made ourselves. The earths were actually collected by a teacher who was doing the workshop, and it was super interesting knowing about this. The workshop was meant to last from the morning until mid-afternoon. However, I left at the beginning of the afternoon session because of a not so nice episode that happened, but I don't want to talk about this here now. But I went to portray the model. Today we had a live model in painting and it was nice. It was the first time for me trying to sketch the live model before painting it, and actually in the evening I started painting the model from life, and it was my very first time. So as you might remember, I only painted the sculptures earlier, and today I started painting the model instead. It wasn't a full painting, I only did the underpainting, but hopefully I will finish my painting tomorrow, or maybe I will start a new one tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, obviously. Thursday means painting. This morning, I made a composition study of the model and I spent the whole morning doing that. And since yesterday, I really enjoyed zooming in on the model. I only portrayed her face with her hands. Today, I did kind of the same thing. So I didn't portray the whole figure of the model, but I only portrayed from his torso above. And I'm enjoying this kind of composition. In the afternoon, finally, I started painting it. I didn't manage to do much of it because I'm still very, very slow. So I only did the underpainting and I started with the grisaille. The grisaille is just the first layer in the scale of gray. After that, in the evening, the model changed position. So I needed to start everything over again. However, I did just a quick sketch and then I started painting directly, but also that I haven't finished it, so let's see if next week I'll finish it. During the break between the afternoon and the evening, we had a workshop which is called the System of Art, and we had this workshop with Alessandro Riva, who's director of Artu magazine, an art magazine in Italy, and he's also an art critic. The workshop was about how artists enter the system of art, so how they're getting known by galleries, by magazines, and how they gain visibility, become famous basically. And today's session was super interesting, although I missed the last sessions because I still wasn't in the academy, so the teacher recapped everything for me very quickly, but then we had a laboratory where we discussed about our thoughts of art, so what art means for us, what is art, and how we approach it, if we think art is for everyone or not, and so on. And it was super interesting because I realized that many of the questions that I make myself and that I wonder every day around and I keep wondering about, people have different opinions around that, have different points of view. And it was an interesting way to exchange our opinions and share them. I can't believe the 4th week has already finished. Tomorrow we won't have any museum visit, unfortunately, but we will have it next Friday. The week passed very quickly with ups and downs. Ups in drawing and downs in oil painting because I'm still frustrated by the fact that I'm very slow. I still cannot manage oils properly, but hopefully next week I'm gonna unblock a new level with oils. Also, I'm coming to terms with the fact that during the day I don't have enough time to do everything I would love to do. So reading around art and watching the videos I would love to watch, learning everything I would love to learn. But that doesn't mean that I'm not putting as much effort as I did in the past, because actually I'm occupying my whole free time or whatever is left of that to do that. So I'm trying to still put a lot of effort into it, but I realized that maybe my ambitions are too ambitious. I need to calm down a little bit and take my time to learn everything step by step. But I'm really curious about everything, so I really cannot wait to learn everything that I would love to learn, and I'm never gonna stop that because there are so many things that literally I don't think I'll ever have enough time to do that, but let's see.